Now, Wave News at 4.
Well, it is the video we have all been waiting for. Footage showing the moments leading up to the arrest of the world's #1 golfer, Scottie Scheffler. And still, even after this video release, the answer as to what happened is about as clear as mud. This is Wave News at 4. I'm Jolles. It all happened on May 17th, just outside of the Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, when police say Scottie Scheffler went around road closures from a fatal accident and then dragged one of their detectives with his PGA vehicle. And finally, 6 days after the incident took place, we're getting the only official video that exists of what happened. That's what you're seeing on your screen right now. There's only two problems with this, though. One, this video only shows what happened immediately after Scheffler allegedly dragged the detective with his vehicle. And two, Detective Brian Gilles never turned on his body camera during the incident. That means we're left with these two blurry angles of what happened. And today, LMPD Chief Jacqueline Gwen Bierwell says Gilles has been reprimanded for not turning that body cam on.
Detective Gilles should have turned on his body-worn camera, but did not. His failure to do so is a violation of the LMPD policy on uniforms and equipment. We understand the seriousness of the failure to capture this interaction, which is why our officer has received corrective action for this policy violation.
The police chief and mayor held a joint news conference today where they refused to take questions. Wave News reporter Natalia Martinez was there with a list of questions in her hand and where the theme was moving on. Natalia.
Questions that weren't answered. That's apparently what everyone is saying except for Mike O'Connell, to move on. That's the county attorney who said he's not dropping the charges just yet. So what is going to happen to these charges? The mayor did not come out and say that's what he wants, the charges to be dropped. Instead, what he said is that everyone wants to move on from this. He praised the PGA and his officers. The chief also thanked her rank and file for keeping people safe. That may have been directed to what the cop, Brian Gilles, was trying to do when all of this happened. Mayor Craig Greenberg said it's the county attorney, Mike O'Connell, who has restricted them from releasing any other pieces of evidence. O'Connell himself went to court in the case to argue Scheffler shouldn't get any special treatment, except O'Connell's presence itself was out of the norm. Scheffler's attorney said they're not budging.
Our position's the same as it was last Friday. Scottie Scheffler didn't do anything wrong. We're not interested in settling the case. We will either try it or it'll be dismissed.
Steve Romines, the attorney there, says the videos shown today do nothing for the case other than support their position that it all should be dropped. Coming up at 5 and 6, I'll have more on what happens to the charges if Mike O'Connell doesn't drop them, and what other evidence is out there that no one is talking about. Natalia Martinez, Wave News.
All right, Natalia, thank you. Well, new here at 4, we're learning more about Detective Brian Gilles and his history in LMPD. Gilles joined Louisville Metro Police in 2007. His personnel file includes several letters of commendation as well as some disciplinary action. Gilles was found to be at fault in a couple of accidents and got in trouble for not showing up to court. In December 2012, he drove an intoxicated civilian in a police vehicle on duty with lights and sirens on during a non-emergency. He also did donuts in a business parking lot. LMPD suspended him 5 days unpaid. Then in March 2019, Gilles got in trouble for a police pursuit. An internal investigation found he violated standard operating procedure by pursuing a vehicle where the driver didn't commit a violent felony and wasn't wanted on a warrant. He also failed to notify MetroSafe Dispatch before beginning that pursuit. It's unclear what discipline, if any, Gilles faced for that incident. Well, new here at 4, we now know the name of a man killed in a shooting near Okolona. The coroner identified the victim as 34-year-old Nicholas Wedding. The shooting happened Tuesday on Versailles Lane off Preston Highway. Nathan Short appeared in court this morning charged with Wedding's murder. Police say he admitted to the deadly shooting. An arrest citation says Short told police there was a fight between himself, the victim, and a woman. It says Short told police when the woman tried to walk away, Wedding tried to follow, and that's when Short fired. The judge raised Short's bond to $250,000. Police worked two scenes on separate roadways in Okolona today that they believe are connected. One person was shot and the presumed shooter is also in the hospital. Wave News reporter Sean Bowdy shows us how police are connecting the dots.
Before 8 this morning, police responded to an accident here on Outer Loop just shy of Preston Highway. When they got there, the driver immediately tells police he'd been shot. EMS is called and they take him to University Hospital. The whole time, police are also following up on a call from I-65 where the driver tells police he had just been in a fight with someone and he may have been the one to shoot the other person.
Before this accident came out, we were alerted about a fight that was occurring on 65. We believe that both of these are going to be related. We'll leave it to the major crimes units to sort out what needs to happen.
Police didn't initially indicate whether the shooting took place on I-65, on Outer Loop, or elsewhere. They didn't know what led to the initial fight nor the exact timeline of events. Both people involved from the two different scenes were sent to the hospital.
Police believe everyone is accounted for in these two situations and that there's no reason for the public in that area to be concerned. In Louisville, Sean Bowdy, Wave News.
Well, when someone is having a medical emergency, every second counts. And new at 4, thanks to the quick thinking of some JCPS employees, their coworker is still alive today. Rob Martin is the security monitor for Iroquois High School. On May 13th, Martin suddenly had a heart attack in a school hallway. 3 of his coworkers immediately jumped into action. They took turns giving him CPR, while one ran to get a nearby AED. The group ended up shocking his heart 6 times before EMS arrived.
The funniest thing is I'm the one that's trained to save the life in this building. And it's amazing that they joined together and saved mine.
Wave News reporter Brandon Spencer spoke with the heroes who stepped in. You'll hear from them coming up at 5 and 6. Louisville civil rights activist Alberta Jones was honored with a memorial dedication this morning. Jones was killed in 1965 in her mid-30s. She was the first female prosecutor in Kentucky, an advocate for voting rights, and she negotiated Muhammad Ali's first professional boxing contract. The park named after her opened in November last year in the California neighborhood, and today the Parks Alliance dedicated a bench in her honor. Jones's younger sister, Flora Shanklin, says her legacy will always live on.
Everything that anybody does for her to recognize her, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I'm just thankful that they remember, you know, because it's been 59 years since she got killed.
She also says the Parks Alliance hopes to have a statue completed for Alberta Jones by 2025. Well, an organization dedicated to inspiring the next generation has been awarded money to expand. Now, Big Brothers Big Sisters Kentuckiana is planning to support more kids in the future. Plus, a popular music festival has made its return. A look inside the first day of Abbey Road on the River coming up next.